Welcome to the Clicks and Creators podcast. My name is Hiram Perry. I'll be the host. And in episode one, we'll have Josh Wartena with us today. So it's our special
Thank,
guest.
thanks for having me on, Hiram. Excited for the inaugural episode.
Yeah, yep. Uh, First of many, hopefully. So I guess I just wanted to get started by asking like how many years you've been in marketing and where did you go to school and what companies have you worked for so far?
Sure. I went to school at Utah Valley University down in Orem. I started going there, oh my gosh, just I was getting out of high school. I started taking a few classes and just transitioned after graduating to continue. And I started working in marketing while I was in college. I had a few great mentors that I TA'd for that started me down the path. So I've been since college, so 15 years now, been in marketing, mostly digital marketing for all of that. Although I did a small stint in print marketing. We won't talk about that. Newspapers are dying. But I've worked at quite a few places, most of them local companies, until I came here at Belfour in my current position. I was a lead of content creation for a supplement company where we did a lot of website creation, writing all of the various ingredient and tech sheets. An interesting job for sure. It was an aspect of content creation I didn't know existed that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. After that, went to Sundance Mountain Resort, the ski resort down in central Utah. Used to be owned by Robert Redford. Great place to work. Really loved that. It was kind of my dream job, to be honest. I've been going there since I was a kid, so to be able to work there was a lot of fun. Very engaging place to be out in the outdoors. Was there for 5 years. I was their first digital marketing, like dedicated digital marketing person. And unfortunately, with COVID, the luxury resort industry wasn't doing so well. So I had to find a new job, unfortunately, after that. But went to a local restaurant chain called Neaters. They were purchasing back all of their franchisees across the country while I was there, and they needed a digital marketing person to help with that transition. Helped make their ordering, review app, social media, website creation for all of the local franchises, which was an interesting place to be that helped me segue into where I am now at Belfour Franchise Group, where I manage the web marketing services department. We handle local marketing for franchisees for all of our brands. And that's where I was lucky enough to meet Hiram, work with him for a few years.
Yeah, we worked together for about 2.5 years. It was a great experience. I was lucky you took a chance on me while I was still in school.
Don't tell yourself short. No, it was a lot of fun. Really
Yeah,
great. Glad to have you there. And thanks for asking. So, yeah, 15 years, worked a lot of places, mostly local, and now at a franchise group managing the team.
very nice. And so what would you say, like, what's your marketing origin story? Like, what got you into marketing? Why did you choose to go into that field?
I kind of backed into it, to be honest. I was working at the school newspaper as part of a work study, a tuition waiver effectively, that I was handling content creation and copy editing as one of the like staff editors there. And a teacher I was working with was I was doing a TA I mentioned for him at the beginning during my introduction. But he said, "You're, quite good at this. I think you have, some skills both in the teaching and writing, but there's not a lot of writing jobs out there. So you should start looking at the marketing side of it." He was pretty honest with me about, as far as careers go, I owe him a lot. He had worked for Mother Jones and NPR and just sat me down and said, "Look, this is what you need to look at if you want to make a career out of this." So I owe a lot to him, and that helped me find the content creation job there locally that then everything else sprung from. Obviously, focused a lot on digital just because that's where marketing is these days. It seems that whenever you talk about marketing, it's almost all digital, unless you're working on, some sort of video or content creation. I guess my origin story, I backed into it. It was not planned, but I'm really happy where I ended up.
Yeah, very cool. So you kind of started out in writing then. Do
Mhm.
you do you still write at all?
Yeah, I still write quite a bit. I write personally as far as like blogs go. I like writing anytime I can for my job. I like being able to do that. There's a lot of content that needs to be made, but I still like to flex my creative muscles every once in a while. I think you need to so you don't get bogged down in endless email chains or writing just website copy over and over. But yeah, I still do write. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of segues into my next question is like, do you enjoy the like analytical side or the creative side more in marketing?
They're really different, especially when you're looking at the digital side. When we talk about creative, that's everything from making scripts for videos to full website content redesign. And inevitably, when you talk about content redesign for a website or for a social media page, whatever it may be, you're going to get the decision makers. I'll call them decision makers because I've always worked at agencies or in-house marketing.
Mhm.
It's the people who own the companies. They want to be involved with how it looks, right? And so they want to be very involved on what we'll call the front end of all the development. And so trying to take their vision and make it reality is always a challenge, but a lot of fun because they want to be very hands on. So you have a lot more time given to that task because they're involved with it. On the analytical side, it's not just pulling reports. I like to think of myself, and I told the team this many times while you were there, of course, that I like to think of us as digital mechanics. There's too much when it comes to marketing or SEO or optimization that people will just kind of throw out as buzzwords when really there are specific things that need to be done on a marketing side digitally that have actionable items that you can measure, right? Things like website speed, specific SEO strengths, ad benchmarks. And I like that a lot because there are specific things that need to be made. It's kind of like going into a messy house and cleaning it up or getting, a busted down car or bike and fixing it. I do a lot of mechanic stuff. So that's an analogy I always go back to. And that's extremely satisfying. Whereas with the creative, it's a more organic process. So I enjoy both, but I would probably say I like the analytical side a lot.
A lot more.
A lot more. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoy both. I guess I'm a little bit on the other end. I would say I enjoy the creative side a bit more, but I think that's what's cool about marketing is like it's the combination of the two. So like you get to go in there and see like what's working, what's not with the data and the analytics, and then you can use like your creative writing or your like video productions, writing scripts, things like that to like reach your audience and market a product. So it's
Yeah.
a cool field to be a part of, and
Yeah, well, and you always took a lot of time to specifically make fun stuff. Let me explain. When some people they approach a creative design or a creative project as just a thing to be marked off, and so they just do the bare minimum. Where you would go above and beyond, not just for the clients that you worked with, but personally, I would see, your various Instagram pages that you made. You always put a lot of work into editing those videos to make them engaging, as well as all of the logos you made for various people that would reach out to you for third party freelance work. And that was always really cool to see because that's not something that I feel is a strength I have. So to see you turn those around and show, that creative side for clients was always fun. I always looked forward to it.
yeah, I mean that's always been my favorite part, and I think that's what initially drew me to marketing was the like I saw that there was like that creative side of it, and that's just always been something ever since I was like a kid. I just enjoyed making videos and working with like Photoshop and stuff like that. So
Are
uh,
you said you're doing stuff for local companies right now, freelance, you're doing social media.
yeah,
Do you get to create the content as well as post it?
yeah. So I've been doing like end-to-end content creation for them. I'm not in the videos, but I go and like I write the scripts and then we shoot the videos and I edit them and post them. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
When I was doing Neaters, we had to do a lot of food shots. Obviously, they're a restaurant, a bakery,
Uh,
and man, after 3 months of shooting the same type of bread over and over again, I was struggling to think of a different way to do it. There was
well,
one time I was in the walk-in freezer trying to pour chocolate onto a big thing of like vanilla ice cream because they wanted it look a specific way, but we couldn't have it sit out too long to melt. So I would
mhm.
get a bunch of bowls out, pour chocolate sauce on, bring it out, shoot it, run back to the freezer and wait for them to text me and say, all right, add a little more here or take it off here. It was just such a pain. So kudos to the creative people, but that is definitely my definitely my weak spot.
Gotta get the perfect chocolate syrup ratio on
It
the
really was. Yeah, no, it was. Thankfully, it was like July, so
yeah.
I could go outside, get hot, hop back in. What are you gonna do? It was fun.
All right, so I guess I'll move to the next question. So, do you have a specific marketing campaign or project that you're especially proud of or that you enjoyed?
Oh yeah, there was when I was at Sundance Mountain Resort. I just default saying it's just Sundance. It's not related to the film festival. We would always say Mountain Resort because you say Sundance and people
Uh,
ask the film festival. They're two separate things. But
not the film festival anymore, are they?
huh?
Are they doing the film festival still? I heard that they're maybe moving it.
Yeah, they're gonna move it. They're not doing it in Park City anymore, which is kind of a bummer. It was always fun because they do some shows at the resort, and we would be able to get free tickets to go see. But no, yeah, they're moving it out of maybe out of Utah completely. So
Yeah, I was kind of bummed to hear that. I never got to go, but
it's
yeah,
always been here.
yeah.
And yeah, no, I was there at the resort when we had our 50th anniversary. So it was founded in 1969 by Robert Redford, and he was still around. I mean, he's still alive, but he was involved with the like resort operations when I was there. So for the 50th anniversary, it was this really neat event where we did a huge screening of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on the lawn by the main lift. We had a ton of activities, obviously food, and it went pretty late into the night. We were trying to make it a party,
Uh-huh.
and there was not just obviously event planning that had to go into it, but trying to do marketing for a free event for a legacy brand where we are involving the original owner to locals who knew the area pretty well and who knew who we were was just so much fun. We got people who had been coming up for 40 years who brought all of their passes.
Mhm.
That we did a little raffle where if you brought old ski passes, you get a ticket. And then we had
Mhm.
influential people in the history of the resort come up. We had the gentleman who literally wrote the book for U.S. ski instruction. He had been a head ski instructor at Sundance for years and years, and he came. And if you're in that world, apparently he's a really big name. There were some local filmmakers, people that were involved with the early days of the history of the resort. That just it was so much fun to get the content for that program that it felt less like marketing and more like throwing a big party. But I really enjoyed doing that. Being able to be a part of that 50th anniversary was really satisfying, even if I was only a small part.
That sounds super cool. Yeah. I mean,
It was sweet.
yeah, I think like being part of a marketing campaign where you're like planning a large event like that, especially something that like you're passionate about. You said you like grew up going there and stuff.
Yeah,
Must
it
have been.
was too many marketing campaigns turn into let's take the last checklist we did and apply it to this new brand or this new project. And having something that was really unique and once in a lifetime, like a 50th anniversary, and having Robert Redford involved, I really liked it.
Yeah, that sounds very cool. I was actually working at Belfour when I was doing this. I was working at a air band. I don't
Oh,
remember.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that like they said I would be doing when I was working there. They're like, "Oh yeah, like we'll bring you on and like if you want to put on like this like gaming like tournament event and they're like Airband sponsor it, like we want to do stuff
Uh-huh.
like that." And then like when I actually got hired, it was like there was no one else on the Airband team and like when I tried to bring up campaigns, they were always like too busy with other stuff and
Of course.
yeah, it was like I don't know. So I was excited because I thought I was gonna get to do something cool like that, but it didn't
Yeah.
work out the way I thought.
It's crazy. Like marketing is seen as this. I don't know. I guess it depends. I'm not going to just complain endlessly about how people see marketing departments, but there's definitely this feeling once you're in the marketing world with the agency is either, oh, the marketing people just party all the time, or if you're in social media, oh, they just post on social media. You see it if you go on UDOT. So Utah Department of Transportation has a really active social media presence, and which sounds weird. It's UDOT, but they're trying to keep people engaged and know what's going on with roads. And so they've changed a lot in the past year with how they approach their social media marketing. And it's interesting to see public comments that I've heard privately my whole career of you're just posting on social media. Why don't you help fix the roads? There's definitely this vibe that marketing is just all this fun stuff that you do. It's not the real work of the company. Marketing people just play. And that's not just from clients, right? I had an interview at a startup, and it was a marketing startup, digital marketing firm. Won't name names, but they're in Utah. There's 100 of them that pop up every
Yeah.
year around Silicon Slopes, right?
Uh-huh.
But I go in and the CEO, it's like six people in this tiny office down in Salt Lake, of course. And the CEO is this like young tech bro guy. they were trying to sell themselves to Google, but he's like, yeah, we have a foosball table and an Xbox, and we
Always got
work pretty hard. Oh yeah, it was the most stereotypical thing. And he reaches down into his desk and pulls out a bottle of rum and slams it on his desk. Goes, we party pretty hard here too. So you need. I was like, dude, this is a first interview. What are you doing? Like, it's just
really.
this crazy vibe that a lot of people get, or reputation that marketing is only it's not real work, right? That you're just making up content and posting it online, and that's not real. And I really try when we're working with clients to emphasize this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, and this is how it can help you get more jobs, right? It's not just vapor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've noticed that too, where people think creating content and yeah, just marketing in general is like this fake job and it's just it's so easy. But I don't think
Yeah,
people realize like how much time and effort goes into even making like a 30-second video. Like scripting, editing, and you also are like trying to reach a certain audience and it's a lot more than just like, in the video it looks like a lot of fun, but there's a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
into
Well,
it.
I watch TikTok all the day, so it can't be that hard to make them. Well,
Right,
okay.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
Anyway, slight tangent, sorry.
yeah, I mean, I guess it might be fun at that one marketing firm. Sounds like you get drunk and play foosball, so
Yeah, I don't know if they ever ended up getting sold to Google or what was happening, but they 6 months after that interview, they sent me another email. I'm like, are you still interested? We're still trying to fill his position. I'm like, you've been trying to fill it for 6 months. I don't think
not a great
that's a
sign.
good sign, buddy.
I can get drunk and play foosball in my own time.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't, get paid for it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, true. That's true. Um, what would you say the hardest part of being in marketing is?
The hardest part of being in marketing is the same thing that is difficult in any service based job. I used to install cabinets and I was a finish carpenter for many years, all throughout college before I graduated and then moved into air conditioned computer job. But when you're working with client projects in their house, the hardest part is dealing with the client and explaining to them what they need, right? Whether when you're trying to demo someone's kitchen and install new cabinets, they might get upset. Why is, did this thing break, or what's happening with this part of my drywall? What's going on with these cabinets? It's not finished yet. I'm not happy with how it looks because it doesn't look perfect. Like all of that ongoing client conversation is the hardest part of working on the job, right? The actual labor itself and the tech side is straightforward, right? It's problem solving. It's the same with marketing. Dealing with client questions or with, like I said earlier, decision makers, owners of the company, and trying to explain what it is that you're doing and why it's important is sometimes the hardest part. I talk a lot in team training that the most common question you get, at least where I am now, in kind of this agency role is your clients calling saying, I Googled myself, I only came up number two, fix it. And trying to educate without being condescending can be difficult, and explain what's happening with their digital presence. And once you start getting into ad profiles, it's what's happening with their money, right? Because they want to make sure they're getting an ROI, but they have no idea what any of the terms mean. So ongoing conversations and communication while meeting client expectations without being condescending is the hardest part.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I had a little bit of experience with that because we both worked at Belfour, and
Uh-huh.
there's a handful of people that haven't really spent a lot of time on a computer, and
Yeah.
yeah, so there's definitely a gap you have to bridge where it's like I wish it was that easy,
I
but
had
uh,
one client who was insistent that we take their video idea and get it on Jimmy Fallon. He's like, we can get on Fallon. I watch Fallon, every night or every week. This was, 7 or 8 years ago. Said,
yeah,
and he has all these fun videos that he shares. And I think our video would be really good. He was effectively asking us to make a viral video, but
right.
specifically, I want to be on Jimmy Fallon. And every week on a Monday, I would get a call or he'd come in to the office actually like, where we are on the Fallon project. I'm like, dude, it just shows such a lack of understanding. But you also don't want to say, well, this is stupid. Why are you even asking it? Right. That's not how you need to approach the conversation. So it's hard.
I love that he even followed up on that. Like that wasn't like a one-time phone call. He
It
was
was. all he wanted for like a month, man. It was just wild because I'm used to, can you make this video go viral, to be specific of like, you want me to call NBC? Like, can we just start just bugging people? It was wild.
That's an awesome ask. I need to start making crazy requests like that.
Honestly, shoot for the moon, I guess. Anyway, we did not get on Fallon,
Shockingly,
unsurprisingly, but
shockingly and
but
confound.
funnily, the guy I was working with at the time, he ended up, my coworker ended up getting on the Ellen show. So I was like,
Oh
that's
no. And that's
interesting.
fueled the fire, I'm sure.
It was hilarious. So anyway, yeah, client questions are always the hardest stuff, no matter where you are.
Yeah, definitely true. Um, this one, this one's a little bit on the spot, but if you could give someone who is considering a marketing career three pieces of advice, what would they be?
Oh no, that's not on the spot. That's a good question. I recently hired someone out in the Ann Arbor office for an expansion that we're trying to do in services, and a big part of why I liked them as a candidate was because they had Google certifications. So too many people who are in the marketing world just have marketing as a vague set of like skills they learned in college or they took at a job, and they can't really define what it is that they do. And I'm being pretty critical here, and I apologize to anyone that I'm offending, but like really you need to be able to say what it is that you're doing in marketing and not just have this vague idea of I answer emails and set up meetings, right? There are things that we do that are beyond just general communication. So get your Google certifications more than anything. Like when before you moved down to where you are now, Hiram, I told you take time to get your ad certifications, right? And your Google Analytics certifications. Those are huge. Everyone's going to use those no matter where you go. Things like Tag Manager as well can be really helpful. And Google has a lot of free certs, which is nice because, well, you don't have to pay for them, but they want people to use their products. So they provide those certifications at no cost. And so you can go and get them at any point and do it personally. So when you're applying to jobs, you show that initiative that I took care of it. So you're not just planning and communicating, you're bringing something to the table. After that, I would get familiar with data visualization and reporting software. Regardless of where you are, you're going to have to make some sort of reports. And knowing how to do that in a way that isn't just screenshots in a PowerPoint presentation can be really helpful. Whether it's Looker Studio, Ninja Cat, every CRM is going to be similar in how they pull reports or where they're pulling it from. Get used to what those terms mean and how to do it. Obviously, the company you're going to work for may have a specific reporting software that you aren't familiar with, but if you know the generals, you'll be able to apply that to their programs, right? They're all going to be really similar. After that, finally, I would say WordPress and HTML knowledge. That's something that, once again, every place you work is going to have. When I started at Sundance, I was the first digital marketing person they had, and they had the same website for like 15 years. And I remember it was my second day. The person who had hired me, head of the marketing, was going, I really wish we could change the text on our website in this certain box. And I said, well, I think I can do that because I knew the HTML to change text. And she was blown away, like, oh my gosh, so glad we hired you. Now we have someone who knows how to deal with the website. And I just wanted to say, really? Like this kind of basic information should be something you can bring to the table as a marketing expert. So get your Google certifications, get knowledgeable with some sort of visualization reporting software, and know basic website HTML editing. You want to be a well-rounded, varied skill set that is not just I send emails. That was a long answer, so I hope that's okay.
No, yeah, that was perfect. And I mean, that's definitely something like, now that I'm graduated from college and like I've had experience and I'm like interviewing and things like that. That's something I've noticed is a lot of employers don't want to just hear like I have this education and I have this experience. They want like specific like skills that you have, certifications that you have, like specific numbers and metrics like from past marketing campaigns. Because yeah, just hearing like yeah, I know like what marketing is and I send emails and I can make videos doesn't really like excite a lot of employers. So yeah, I,
No,
I absolutely
I've
agree.
probably had about 100 interviews over the past 5 or 6 years with young marketing folks, just because we used to have way more turnover on the team, right? And 9 times out of 10, once again, I'm not trying to like dump on specific people, but most people who apply to these jobs see, oh, marketing and marketing's easy, right? And so they come in and they say, well, I did a lot of social media posts at this company or for myself. Or, I worked with a team and we made some fun videos. And that's what they think marketing is. Like, no, like get into the weeds of it, right? Like if you were applying to be a mechanic, you wouldn't just say, well, I went on a couple of road trips. I know how to change a tire and I helped wash the car one time. Like you need to know what it is that you're working with.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, you saying that though, it makes me laugh a little bit just because like you hired me and I can't imagine I made too many like specific.
No, that's true. I mean, you have to start somewhere though. And like at that point, you were applying to a like base level. You were a college student. It was a part-time job. Like that's what I was looking for. I was looking for someone who knew the terms that I was asking about and was willing to learn. And you did. Like when I said Google Ads, you didn't just give me a blank stare. You knew what it was. Even if you didn't know how to do it all, you knew, you were aware of it. So don't sell yourself short.
Yeah. All right, and I guess I mean that covers pretty much everything that I had marketing related. I'll just ask you like one more question. Like what's a fun fact about Josh Wartena that people wouldn't know just by looking at you?
Oh gosh. That wouldn't know just by looking at me. I am a cat person very much. Not something I ever used to be, but once again during COVID, we got a little kitten, and ever since then, I am obsessed with the things. Love my cats. So how's that? Nice, boring,
Perfect.
fun fact.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, this has been great. Thanks, Hiram. Really appreciate the time. I tend to get long-winded about this stuff, but thank you for asking good questions and letting me ramble for a bit.
No, I mean that's perfect. That's what I wanted. I wanted like detailed answers, and it was all like great information, so I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, I will see you around. Let me know if you need anything else. Look forward to hearing the podcast go live and good luck on further interviews.
Thank you. Yeah, and for everybody watching, thanks for watching Clicks and Creators podcast. Hope to see you in the next one.